Howdy folks, welcome aboard the channel. I'm Don, this is Rockin' the Country, and I've got a gift request from none other than MontaukEd. And in due course, this hat is going to change, but I won't say another thing. It won't totally change because I will be keeping this, trust me. Ed made a gift to the channel for me to do this song of Dolly Parton's, If You Hadn't Been There. So Ed, thank you for this request. And I know this is going to put it to me. I know it. And I'm good with that. I love that. I like being challenged. I like feeling. I like all of it. And this is the type of song with a title like that. We're going to see if it runs like deep and nuanced or if it's just sort of simple and boom, right to the heart. All right, here we go. If You Hadn't Been There. Piano poignancy.
If you hadn't been there, where would I be? Without your trust, love and belief, the ups and downs we've always shared, and I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there. If you hadn't been you, well, who would I be?
Yeah, that's true.
You've always seen the best in me. Your loving arms have cradled me. You held me close, and I believe I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there, holding my hand, showing you care. You made me dream more than I did, and I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there.
And you don't always know what you're doing for someone else.
A soft place to land, my wings, my confidence. You understand your willingness beyond compare. No, I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there.
All right. This is going in the premarital counseling playlist, not because it's sweet and mushy, but because we don't always know what we mean to someone else because they don't always say it. That's part of the problem in relationships too, is that people really do need to articulate what they see in the other person. Like, not just be on guard, so to speak, not be aware and be vocal. Like if you see your wife or husband or boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whatever, does something or is a certain way that is like beyond yours. Let's just say they have a strength in an area that you don't. Admire it and tell them it, like, because it validates them as a person. It also shows that you're paying attention, which is huge. Like feeling invisible in your own home is a crappy feeling, and you don't want that. So I'm putting this in the premarital counseling playlist for the simple reason that it's really important to, one, recognize that you might mean a lot more to someone else than they're letting on. But if you're feeling, though, that the other person is your rock, is your strength, you couldn't live without them, you got to say it. You got to say it. It pays huge dividends in the bonding in that relationship.
I wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there, pushing me on when I was scared. I thank God and you for your loving care.
Yeah, I thank God and you.
With more to spare. wouldn't be here if you hadn't been there.
Is this a crossover hit?
If you hadn't been there.
That piano. Thank you. Yeah. That, of course, that's a MontaukEd song, but this is, Dolly sang that very differently. I mean, she had that breathy, just softer delivery, and she's got a bubbly delivery typically and an upbeat delivery when she sings. So when she sings a downbeat song, you feel it even that much more because you're like, whoa, this, happy, bubbly, wakes up happy person is sad or whatever. But in this one, I really get the sense that she wrote this. Maybe not. Maybe she just really liked it, and somebody, publishing company or her agent, manager, band member presented it to her. But she was thinking of her husband. Her husband stays out of the spotlight. I don't even know his name. I'm sure I knew it at one point, not as a matter of off the top of my head, but I did learn it. But he purposely stays out of the spotlight, and I probably would do the same thing. Even though I'm a very social person, I don't want to upstage or be in the way of somebody who's, I don't want to be a sideshow. It's just a beautiful thing. And Dolly clearly would have been thinking about her husband when she sang this, because it is true that no matter how big you are, when you're in a relationship, the love that person brings, the fact that they know you and that they knew you even likely before you were a superstar. But even if you met after they'd risen to fame, the fact that you know them as they are from within the household, and you call them out on their horse shit and whatever, or you laugh with them or you laugh at them and they laugh at you, and there's a safe place to be, is huge. It does not matter who you are. And that's one of the prices that people who fall into fame at an early age, it can befall them that they think, well, I could have any guy I want. I could have any girl I want. And then you find out that, well, yeah, I mean, one, that's true of, mega stars. They could have a lot more people than most of us could. But then you find out, all right, now I've got to wade through 1,000 people who want me. How do I pick one? But you might not jive with them as well as you did the prior person. So maybe you're going to be impatient if you know you've got these choices out there of all these people. So, that's a different form of greed when you're not satisfied with what you've got. And there are reasons to break up in a relationship, whether you're famous or not. The same rules apply to famous people as non-famous people in that regard. There's no difference in that dynamic. But somebody being your rock applies equally whether you're famous or not. And it's a beautiful thing that Dolly pointed this out in a song, because I did a video. It was probably for my life coaching channel, which I started before this channel. So it would have been maybe 9 years ago. But one of the questions I asked, and this was at the time when Blake and Miranda were getting divorced. Superstars, A-listers, the whole 9 yards. And I posed the question in the video, do you feel just as bad for them as you do for people who are not famous? And I said, if your answer is no, you don't feel just as bad for people, for their pain, if you don't see them as human, if you don't see their hearts as hurting, if you don't see the internal carnage that's caused from getting divorced from a split, then you don't have a solid grip on what constitutes a relationship, because the fame doesn't matter in that regard. You have more toys and nicer couches and whatever else you've got, but your heart, you still have to live with it. And we're all 5-year-olds on the inside. So, geez, Ed, I'm off and running again. So anyway, I love this song. All right, I'm going to rate this one And the number that popped into my head was a 9.1. Nothing over the top instrumentally. And it was Dolly being sweetly sappy and sincere. But this goes in the premarital counseling playlist also, as I said, because people just, if you're going into a relationship or you just started one or you've been in one for decades, say what you admire about the other person. Let them know that they're strong in an area, they're wonderful, they're creative, they're thoughtful, they're intelligent, they're successful, they're sweet, they're funny, they're quirky. Like, observe it and speak to it. And if they happen to be your rock, it's all right to let them know it, but also be aware that not everybody is articulate. Not everybody is observant. Sometimes people realize things after the fact, not in the moment, maybe long after the fact. So maybe the person that you think isn't observing that you're wonderful and they're rock, maybe they are going to notice it. Maybe they will say it. But it really is important to say it. And I'm going to emphasize that point. So there you go. Ed, thanks again, my friend. There's a new hat coming. I know it. Have a great day. I just have to get up to my P.O. box, and that's going to happen within the next week, maybe less. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you on another video, and keep rocking the country.